Hi everyone, I'm Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads, streaming to you from my dungeon of dreams. Join me in the magical world of crochet, knitting, and all things yarn. If you're a fellow yarn enthusiast, hit that subscribe button and become part of our creative journey. Let's dive into today's project. Hi, my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads. Today I'm going to do a video tutorial on the Snake Drawstring Bag. So it's just basically a snake that is coiled around a drawstring bag, guarding all of your little treasures. But you can fit a lot in these little bags. They're pretty flexible. And if you make it with thread yarn, this is how it turns out. I made the pattern the same exact way with the same exact pattern, but with this one I used thread yarn and a tiny hook, and it turned out so cute. It still is a functional bag. You can put stuff in there. So I just wanted to go over that we're going to be going through, this is my book. It's published on Amazon. I have a link to it in my description. It's called Fantastic Fantasy Drawstring Bags by Heather Heisler, Strings and Threads. This book and this pattern are copyright to me. And so what that means for you is that you're allowed to make as many of these as you want. You can even make and sell as many of these as you want. But the actual pattern, the words to the pattern, this is copyright to me, so you may not make a video tutorial on how to make this. You may not distribute this pattern for free or for money. You can't claim this pattern as your own. That's the only thing that means. But I'm happy for you to be able to make as many of these bags as you would like. So what do we need for this? We need a bag color, so I have chosen this green Premier Just yarn. I believe this is Leaf. It's Leaf. You're not going to need this much. You don't really need a ton of yarn for these. I bet if you had like a half a skein of one of these regular, that would be more than enough. One of these regular skeins of yarn that are, about this size. So you probably would not need, for any piece, you would not need a whole skein. At most, you would need a half. Oh, and the color I just showed you, this is the color I'm going to choose for the body on the one I'm making today. You will need scissors, an H or 5mm crochet hook. You'll need 2 safety eyes. I'm going to use green ones. You'll need paracord, which they call parachute cord. You can get these. I buy mine on Amazon, but I've seen them in Lowe's. I've seen them at craft stores. So there's a lot of paracord out there. I've seen it at Walmart. You can buy it, almost anywhere, I think. And then a toggle fastener. I purchased these on Amazon. I'm not sure. I haven't seen these in my craft stores, but maybe your craft stores would have that. These are called toggle fasteners, and they're available on Amazon at least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the pattern and make it with you. We're going to read the pattern, and if you're not good at reading patterns, this gives you a chance to practice, because you'll get to see it, but you'll also get to see what it looks like when it's written. And I use abbreviations. There's a key right here. CH means chain, SC means single crochet, HDC means half double crochet, and DC means double crochet. Those are the stitches that you're going to need to know for this. I'm trying to make this tutorial as easy as possible, but it's not designed for somebody who does not already know how to crochet these stitches independently. So you need to independently be able to chain single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet to be successful with this pattern. So, I'm trying to find the end of my yarn here so that we can start. I'm going to have to pause this and find the end of my yarn and come back. Okay, there it is. So let's come down here and take a look. We're going to start with the bag color. So round 1, chain 2, 10 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook, attach to first half double crochet. You'll end up with 10 half double crochets in the round. I'm going to show you, so don't panic, okay? And I'm also going to show you 2 different ways of doing it. I was trying to make the pattern as beginner friendly as possible, so I didn't use magic circle in my directions, but I'm going to show you how to do it this way, and I'm also going to show you how to do it with the magic circle, which is the way that I'm going to use. It closes up. It's just a lot neater to do it with the magic circle, but if you feel more comfortable with chaining 2 to start, that's fine. So we're going to do it this way first. Chain 2. So you're going to make your slip knot and then chain 2. 1, 2, and then it says 10 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook. So what that means is you're going to put 10 half double crochets. If you look at the hook, there's a chain here and a chain here. The second chain from the hook means the hook is here. This is the first chain next to the hook. This is the second. Or the first, you could also say it's the first chain that you made. You're going to cram 10 double crochets all into that same chain space. I'm just going to do a few so that you can see what that looks like. Eventually, when you get enough stitches in here, it just starts turning into a circle, which is what we want. Because if you look at the bottom of the bag here, it's a circle. I'll put one more in just to show you. So if you're going to do it this way, continue to make 10 half double crochets, and then we'll come back for the next direction. But if you want to do the magic circle, here's how I do it. I try to do it as simple as possible, and I know everybody says that, and then they do some kind of, and then they're like, oh, see, it was so easy. And I'm like, no, that wasn't so easy. Hopefully this will be easy for you. You start as if you're going to make a slip knot, but don't pull it tight. Okay, and then that's your magic circle. That's all there is to it. And now I'm going to chain 1 and put 10 half double crochets into this magic circle. And don't worry that it's big right now. It's not going to have a big hole in the bottom. We're going to, after we put all the stitches in, we're going to use the tail to pull the hole tight, and it'll stay tight. You won't have any issue once you tighten it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now we're going to pull it tight. You're going to use the tail end, pull it tight, and that keeps the center circle closed. Does a really nice job of that. So now it says attach to the first half double crochet. Just what that means is you go into the first half double crochet you made in this circle, and you slip stitch that to the stitch you just made to make a circle. Before we go on to the second round, I'm just noticing, since we're having a close-up of my hands, I don't want you to think I'm a dirty person. I know it looks like it because my family has been working to renovate our basement, and we've been painting and staining and cleaning and pulling stuff out. And so, all of that has stained my hands and given me little cuts. So it's not practical since we're doing all that work for me to make my nails nice. I know a lot of channels who do video tutorials. I noticed that they do their nails really nice and they make sure their hands look really good. Unfortunately, I'm not in a place right now where I can do that. So hopefully my hands don't look too disgusting to you. I promise you that they are clean. It's just we've been doing that renovating, and so it's not practical for me to put nice nails on and try to keep my hands nice when it's just going to get messed up right away. All right, so round 2, let's read it together. Chain 1, 2 half double crochet in each stitch around. I didn't write it, but some people call that increasing in each stitch around. Attach to the first half double crochet. At the end of the round, you'll have 20 half double crochets. So there's 10 around right now. We're going to put 2 half double crochets into each stitch, which will bring us to 20. I'm going to start this round with you, and then we'll pause and finish, because otherwise, if I do every single stitch, especially as we get to the rounds where we have a lot more stitches in the round, it's going to take, it will make the video way too long. So I will start each round with you, and then we'll pause the video and off camera finish that round, and then resume the video and go to the next step. So what that means, chain 1, and then 2 half double crochets in each stitch around, which can also be called an increase. Some people call that an increase. I'm going to crochet my tail in just because I really like to do that, and I hate dealing with tails. So what that means is I'm in the first stitch, I put a half double crochet. Now I'm going to go back into that same stitch and put another half double crochet in. That's 2 half double crochets in a stitch. You're going to do that in every stitch around. So I go into the second stitch, put in a half double crochet, and then put another half double crochet into that same second stitch there. And then we're just going to continue that around. I'll show you in one more stitch, and then we'll both pause and come back when we finish. So I put 1 half double crochet in that third stitch, and I'm going to put a second half double crochet into that stitch. So let's pause here, finish going around, and then come back for the next directions. I think I was so excited when I was telling you the materials that I may have forgotten to mention one of the materials, and that's stuffing. We do stuff the snake lightly, so you will need some stuffing. I'm sorry to put that out there now. I just got so excited and I didn't want to re-film that. All right, so then we're still in round 2, attached to the first half double crochet, and now you have 20 half double crochets in that round. Okay, so we've attached. Here's how it looks so far. Round 3, chain 1, 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. Repeat around, attach to first half double crochet, and you'll end up with 30 half double crochets. So here's what that looks like. Chain 1, we're going to put 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, which some people will call an increase. So I put 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, go back into the same stitch and put a second, and then it says 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. So just put 1 half double crochet in the second stitch. And then it says repeat around, which means you're going to go back to this. 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, which would be the third stitch. And then 1 half double crochet into the next. I'll do this pattern with you one more time, and then we'll pause and finish our round and come back. 2 half double crochets or an increase in the first or in the next stitch, and then 1 half double crochet into the next. At the end, you will have 30 half double crochets. And since I've shown you what attached to the first half double crochet means, we're just going to do that before we come back. So you're going to finish all the stitches, attach, and then come back for the next directions. All right, here's how it will look. So now we're off to round 4. Chain 1, 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Repeat around, attach to the first half double crochet, and you'll end your round with 40 half double crochets. So let's take it step by step. Chain 1, 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. That's the same thing as an increase. So there's 1, and then you're going to put another half double crochet into that same stitch, 2 in that stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we'll put 1 in the next stitch, and then another just single 1 in the next stitch. And then it said repeat around, so that means the next stitch will get 2 in it, 2 half double crochets in this stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. I'll do that pattern with you one more time, and then we're going to pause and finish the round. 2 half double crochets or an increase in the next stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next, each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 in this one, 1 in the next one. All right, repeat this all the way around and attach with a slip stitch to the first one and come back. All right, here we go. So the next directions, this is going to be simple but quite a bit longer. Rounds 5 through 20, chain 1, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, attached to the first half double crochet, 40. So we're not going to increase anymore, but we're going to put round 5, round 6, round 7, round 8, etc. until we get to round 20. We're going to make it the same way. So I have my counter on. I don't know, if you how you keep track. You can always write the numbers down too. I have done that before I got this counter. That's what I would do. I would write little lines or little numbers to let me know on a sticky note or something what row I'm on. But when I finish 1, I just put 1. When I finish 2, I do 2 and 3 and so on. And then this can click when I get into double digits. I'm not affiliated with this. I just thought it was pretty cool, and I thought I would show you. It's a great way to keep track of the rows. So when we come back, we should have completed 20 rows total, starting from round 1. So, but we'll be doing from 5 to 20 with just 1 half double crochet in each stitch. All right, let's pause here and build it up to row 20 and then come back for the next directions. All right, I have 20 rows now, 20 rounds. So the next step, it says chain 2, 1 double crochet in each stitch around, attached to the first double crochet, 40 double crochets. And the reason why it's going to be a double crochet is because this is the round that we're going to put the paracord through. You can see on this completed one that they're double crochets just for that row. So let's do a round of double crochets and then come back. I have my double crochet round in. So now for rounds 22 and 23, we're going to chain 1 and put 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. Attached to the first half double crochet, it'll still be 40 half double crochets. When I say finish, I just mean cut a small tail, pull your yarn through, and then weave in your ends. Finish it up so you just have a bag. It's not attached to a skein of yarn. So let's do 22 and 23, 2 more rounds with just half double crochet, in each, and then we'll come back. All right, we've finished this page of the pattern, and here's what I have so far for the bag. Next, it says cut a 29-inch. Now, I'm not sure how that converts, so I'm going to ask Alexa, what is 29 inches in centimeters?
29 inches is about 73.7 centimeters.
73.3 centimeters. Piece of paracord. I have mine already cut here. And then it says weave in and out of the double crochet row. So let's do that first and we'll come back for the toggle fastener part. It doesn't matter where you start, you're just going to be finding where your double crochet row is, and I see it right here. And I always go in and out every other one, but I've seen other people do it where they skip 2, or you know, they do different kinds of patterns. So whatever you want that's going to work for you. You could skip 2. I don't know if I would skip too many more than 2, because it might be harder to close, but I'm going to go ahead with my every other one. And the reason why I'm folding it is because when you go in and out like this, it causes the end to fray more. So, and we're going to take care of the fraying later. I don't have it in my directions how to do it. I do have a link to a tutorial for putting the paracord on, and in the tutorial I talk about how to make the edges so that they won't fray. But it was hard for me to put into words how to do it. So I'll show you here, but if you ever were to get the pattern, there is a link to a video tutorial that will show you. So that's why I that's why I fold the end a little bit, because it prevents fraying. So let's finish putting this paracord in, and then we'll come back for the next direction. All right, I went every other one, and then at the end there were 2 left over, so I just left it with the 2 left over there. And now for the toggle fastener, some toggle fasteners have 2 smaller holes. This one has 1 big hole. It just happened to be the one that I got. I chose whatever was the cheapest one in bulk. So this one was the cheapest one in bulk, so I went with that. But any kind of toggle fastener is fine. If you have the 2 smaller holes, you'll put one string in one hole and one end on one hole, one end on the other hole. But if you just have one big opening like mine is, then you just have to shove both ends into that hole. And sometimes it takes a little finagling, and it's going to want to unravel. We can't harden the ends first because then it won't fit through the toggle fastener. All right, I got one through. The other one is being a little stubborn. If I need to, I'll go off camera here and try it off camera, what I'm going to do. If you start getting like really yucky ends like that, you can always cut the end and try again. So I'm going to finagle my other one in and then come back. All right, so you want to bring this down. You can tighten it if you want, but I'm just going to bring it down enough that I can put a knot on the end. So you're going to knot the end. And then there are 2 ways to deal with this fraying. And one I've never done, which is burn the ends. I just don't trust myself to do that, so I've never burned the ends. And the second way is, I'm going to get my book out of the way because I don't want to get it on my book, just to use regular school glue. I'm not affiliated with this. This is just what I had in my house. And so you can glue the ends, and you could glue them together. That might hold it a little bit more. You try to do that with mine. They don't always end up going together, but I do try to do that. You know, just kind of blend it in a little bit. And then it does need to dry for a good amount of time, you know, a few hours up to overnight. So I'm going to put that to the side for a minute, and then I'm going to show you. I made this other bag 3 years ago. And you can see that the ends are still hard and they're still not fraying. So the gluing works really well. All right, I'm going to bring my book back and we'll do the next step. All right, so next we're going to go to the snake, and you're going to get your snake color ready. This is what I'm using for my snake color, slime from Big Twist. And you're going to use your same crochet hook. You're going to use the H that you were using before, the 5mm. Okay, so for round 1, chain 2, 10 half double crochets in the second chain from the hook. Touch the first half double crochet, you end up with 10. So just like for the bag, I wrote it this way because I had a lot of people, when I started selling this pattern, complain that they don't know how to do the magic circle and, you know, they can't use the pattern. So I wrote it this way to make it easier, but if you can do the magic circle, I think that is the better way. But let me show you what, again, just to remind you what the chain 2 10 half double crochets looks like. So I still have a little bit of glue on my hands, sorry. So that would be, you know, doing your slip stitch, pulling it tight, chaining 2, and then the second chain from the hook, which would be, that's the first, that's the second. It would be the first chain that you made. You would put 10 half double crochets in here. And you're just going to smash them all into the same chain. And when you start putting enough stitches in the chain, then it starts going around in a circle, and then you would attach with a slip stitch to the first. But just a reminder, if you wanted to do the magic chain or the magic circle, I do a slip knot as if, or I would start this as if I was doing a slip knot, but I don't pull the slip knot tight. Okay, hopefully that's easy for you. I found it easy for me. And then you chain 1 and you're going to put 10 half double crochets in here. Pull the tail tight and then attach with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet. Let's do that off camera because I feel we've done this before and I feel like you guys probably can handle that off camera. I'll come back for round 2 as soon as I'm done. Here's how mine looks. I already attached with a slip stitch to the first one. I used the magic circle and pulled the circle tight so I don't have a space there. I love that. So then for round 2, chain 1, 2 half double crochets in each stitch around attached to the first half double crochet. You'll end the round with 20 half double crochets. You're doubling what you did from the round before. We've done this before too, so I'll just show you a little bit. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to put 2, I'm going to tuck my tail in there because I hate tails, 2 half double crochets in each stitch. Some people call that, just call that an increase. So there's 2 in the first stitch. I'll do 2 in the next stitch, and then I'll leave you to it. We'll come back when our round is done. 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to pause here. You do the same, finish your round, and then come back. Here's how mine looks. For the next round, you are going to need 2 stitch markers. If you don't have specific stitch markers, you can use safety pins or just something that will stay in place on a stitch. Just we're marking where the eyes go. So that's what the stitch marker is for. So you can use whatever is going to help you there, whether it be a safety pin, stitch markers of any kind, or anything else you can think of to help you remember. So it says for round 3, chain 1, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. Place a stitch marker in stitches 1 and 6. Attached to the first half double crochet. You'll still have 20. We're not doing any increases in this, so you'll still have 20 stitches. So let's go through this round together so you understand what I mean. So we're going to chain 1, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, and place a stitch marker in stitches 1 and 6. So here's the first stitch. Stitch 1, and I'm going to put a stitch marker in that one. 2, 3, 4. Oh, that one wants to get stuck. 5. And then here's 6. And it says stitches 1 and 6, and that's the 6th stitch. So we're going to put our marker there. And then the rest of the way around, we're just going to put 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches around. So let's finish the round, and then we'll come back for the next directions. All right, it's starting to already take its shape here. And if you look at my completed one, you can see how this is going to be the top part. And then we're just going to, really just going to add length after this, after we get the safety eyes in. So let's look at the directions here. Rounds 4 and 5. So we're going to do 2 rounds of just chain 1 and 1 half double crochet in each stitch around attached to the first half double crochet. So the chain from here, or the snake from here on until we get to the very end, is just going to have 20 half double crochets in each round. So I'm going to chain 1, and I know I have the stitch marker there. I just kind of try to work around the stitch marker. This will be round 4. I'll get around the next stitch marker, and then we'll pause and finish up this part and come back. Okay, so here's the 6th stitch. I'm just going to work around the stitch marker. And then I'm going to finish this round, add 1 more round, and then we'll come back for the safety eyes. All right, I've finished up to round 5. So I added 2 more rounds. I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. You could put a stitch marker in there to hold the stitch, but I'm just pulling that out a little bit. So next is attaching the safety eyes. I thought I would use these green eyes. See how that turns out. I usually just use, you know, the plain black ones, but I wanted to see how these green ones would turn out. So you can see where your stitch marker is. You're going to place the eye right where the end of the stitch marker is, right there. And then take the stitch marker out, and then take your backing and put it on the back here to hold the eye in place. And then do the same thing with the other one. You can see right there at the bottom of the stitch marker. If you decide to go above the stitch marker, if you want the eyes to be further back, that's fine. Just make sure you place both behind then, so that they're about the same distance, or they're about the same round, whatever. And come on the back, put that on, and there you go. You're getting the start of your snake. This next section is going to take a while. So I have repeat row 5, which is just putting 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, and lightly stuff. I want you to notice on here, you know, there are parts of this that don't have very much stuffing in it at all. The reason why, I think I wrote it in here, if you stuff it really tight, then you're not going to be able to wrap it around the bag because it'll be too stiff to do that. So I put lightly stuff. If you stuff too full, it will not be flexible enough to sew on bag until 40 inches long or desired length. So you can make the snake as long as you want. When I make it 40 inches, and let me double check what that is in centimeters. Alexa, what's 40 inches in centimeters?
40 inches is about 102 centimeters.
Okay, so 102 centimeters is what she said. You know, or if you want it to be shorter, you can. If you want it to be longer, you can do that as well. So just continue adding rounds and lightly stuffing as you go. You know, it's not, when it's done, it's not going to look like a good, like, full snake, because once you put it on, it will. But if you notice, like, it'll look a little bit deflated before you sew it on the bag, because you need to have it flexible enough to be able to sew on the bag. So why don't you come back when you have it either 40 inches, 102 centimeters, or your desired length, and then we'll talk about the next step. If you're here with me, then we made it. The snake is very, 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 very long. 40 inches is very, very long, but you need it to wrap it around. That's what I did for this one. This one was 40 inches and ended up being the perfect size. So let's see what we do next. Make sure that you're not overstuffed. See, you can see how mine's kind of flimsy and it can bend easily. That's how yours should be. You don't want it to be stuffed tight. So we were here to decrease before ending. Round 1, decrease. Chain 1, 2 half double crochet, 2 together, repeat around, attach to the first half double crochet. So we're going to get down to 10 half double crochets. I'll just do a couple of decreases with you, and then we can finish the round. We'll see how fast they go. Maybe we'll do it together. Chain 1. So you're gonna to half double crochet 2 together, you go into the first stitch, yarn over, go into the second stitch, and then just go through all of them. And that just makes 1 stitch. So half double crochet, decrease. The yarn was stuck on my book. 2, 3, 4. This will be 4. Maybe I should do it off camera here. Let me finish the round because I'm somehow slow right now, and then I'll come back. You'll end up with 10 stitches. All right, here we go. For the next one, the next round, we're going to do the same thing, chain 1, half double crochet 2 together around, and then you'll end up with 5 stitches. And then you can either single crochet the opening shut, or I'll show you another thing that you can do that I like better, but I just was not good at describing it in words for a book. So, you know, either option will be fine. I'll come back and show you both when we decrease again. All right, so here's how the top looks. There's just 5 stitches. So in my directions, I just say single crochet the top shut. You would just kind of go in one side, out the other side, and then single crochet, and it would be shut. But what I like to do a little bit better, you cut a little bit of a tail. You don't need a huge one, but it does need to be, you know, oops, kind of like this length. I can measure that. I know people like to know exact. I don't blame you, I do too. So it's about 10 inches, which is about 26 centimeters. And then you can get your darning or yarn needle, whatever you call it. I've heard it called both. So I just try to call, if I know something's called by 2 different things, I try to say it both ways so that everybody is happy. But you'll thread your darning needle or yarn needle and go through the stitch first. I meant to do that with the crochet hook, but I forgot. But you could do it with the yarning needle. You're just going to go into the front loop of each of the single crochets. And then you should be able to pull. Yep. You could see that pulls the hole closed. And then mine came undone. But then you would just go ahead and weave in the ends to the tail. And I'll do that off camera. You don't need to see me do that. I kind of go all over the place and then try to end with it on the inside. And then the snake is done, and we'll talk about sewing it onto the bag because that's the last thing we need to do. So I'm going to come back for that. Okay, to sew it on, I just threaded some yarn. I might have to do more. This might not be long enough to do the whole thing, but I threaded it with the yarn that I used to make the snake color yarn. And I just have a knot. The other thing you want to do is have the eyes, like I think that the eyes should go like this. So I'm going to put it on its side there, and it's so big it's hard to do the whole thing. And then I'm going to come through the inside of the bag somewhere on the bottom. I'm going to leave about 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds with nothing on them so that it can sit flat. You can see I did that here. And this sits nicely. Okay. I'm not going to sew the whole thing with you. I just want to help get you started. And then now Sorry. I'm going to put it a little bit closer to show you how to sew it. You're going to see how I leave a little bit of an end there. That helps to support the snake. So I'm not going to go right into the very end of it. I'm going to come out a little bit and start sewing it onto the bag, wrapping it around. The thing that you do need to be careful of is that you're not sewing your bag together. Make sure your stitch is just on one side of the bag. It doesn't go through the bag. Okay, so I'm going to go through the next part here. And go through here. As you start sewing this on, you're just going to wrap it around like this until you get to about there. Then you have your snake. I have seen that some people have done like, you know, a little thread of yarn here for a tongue. You're welcome to do that. I just like mine like this. So I hope that you really enjoyed this tutorial. Before I say my goodbyes, I will sew this all the way on, show you the finished project, and then we'll talk about my goodbyes. All right, here are the two bags. This was the original one I made. This is the one I just made with you. I love them. I love the snake guarding it, and these are still functional. You can put treasures in there and tighten it up, and you have your snake guarding it for you. Thank you so much for watching. I would appreciate if you could subscribe and like and share this out. This helps my channel to grow, and it lets YouTube know that you like this kind of content. Thank you again. Have a great day. Bye.